Good morning and welcome back to our Career Services Workshop Series, the Passport to Career Success. And again, my name is Aldwin. I'm the Corporate Director of Career Services, and wanted to talk to you today about your job search. And very first thing that we want to do is kind of ask you what's branding? What is branding? And a lot of times we don't think about it, but really, what is a job search? So you've gone through the resume cover letter workshop. You have a great resume. You've got a great, wonderful cover letter. You've got some job advertisements, some postings out there. What do you do? What do you do now? Well, we want you to be able to understand about branding, because what we believe in, branding is about marketing, right? And it says there, the purpose is to demonstrate the impact of having a recognizable brand that tells consumers what your product is. Well, right now, the market for you are employers, right? You are marketing yourself. You are at this point, you are the product. You're going through school, you're acquiring the right skills, but how do you market yourself? And how do you allow Career Services to help market you? And so one thing about that, let's think about branding as it pertains to marketing. If you can picture products out there. So this is this is something I'd like to start off with. We want to ask you how important is a great slogan or a memorable tagline? We think it's very important. So as you can see here, creating a great company or product slogan that sticks in the consumer's minds is essential, right? And you know things as you watch TV, as you see billboards. As soon as you hear or see something, it pops something into your mind. So what I'd like you to do is take a look at this on your screen. Let's see how many of the companies or products you can identify, right? So I want to be quiet. Take a look at it. I'm going to be quiet. You can pause for a little bit here and see how many you can come up with. Again, think different. What company is that? The Quicker Picker Upper. What company is that? Snap, Crackle, Pop. What company or product is that? And we'll get back with you. All right. How many were you able to come up with? Let's take a look. Let's see which ones you have and which ones you weren't able to get. Some came to mind pretty quickly, didn't they? How about the others? The point of this is that these companies, whether it's the Quicker Picker Upper, Bounty, or Eat Fresh, Subway, or Just Do It with Nike, even just a symbol, you don't even need to hear the slogan anymore. All you need to picture is that swoosh, that logo, and you know it's Nike. But it comes to mind different things, right? It brings to mind different things. So the point of our workshop today is to be able to allow you to understand how important it is to brand yourself, and to be able to let people out there know who you are, what you represent, what kind of skills that they should associate with you, what kind of experience they can associate with you. So what we're going to do is we're going to help you through that today a little bit, and this is going to allow you to be able to begin your job search and your career search in the best way by creating the best brand for you. So creating the you brand. What I'd like you to do is take notes on these, and these are your handouts here, but we want you to fill these out, and we're going to help you create your brand, right? So the thing of it is, some people, they start off and they think all they need to do is look at the different job openings that are out there. You can go to monster.com, Career Builder, Indeed.com. We have jobsforgradsnow.com. Again, that's jobs, the number 4, gradsnow.com. Wonderful resource. But there's a lot of search engines out there, and people sometimes all they think is go on there and then just apply. Well, that's probably not the best way to go. So what we want to do is, you can do that, but if you accompany that with what I'm about to share with you, you're going to be able to, in my opinion, be able to set yourself up for a wonderful amount of success in your job search. So let's take a look at this. Creating the you brand. Look at the first portion. What did you like best about your past jobs? So write that down. What are the few things, maybe there's more, but write out what you like best about your previous jobs. The second portion, what did you enjoy most doing in school? And lastly, what are your goals? So I'm going to give you some tips, some options. You can choose the ones I give you. I would highly suggest you find your own, because the better you know about you, the more you know about you, the better you can create your brand. Because this is not my brand, this is you brand, this is your brand. So what did I like best about my past jobs? Maybe I liked best that I worked with people, that I interacted as a team with team members, but I also worked independently and was able to work independently. Maybe I love serving people, or I'm passionate about customer service and healthcare or patient care. Maybe I just like making a difference. Maybe I like the hands-on, being able to work and really get my feet wet on the job. What did you like best? The second section, what did you enjoy most in school? Maybe it was the new terminology, maybe it was the medical terminology, maybe it was the ability to work in study groups with 3 or 4 of your classmates. Maybe it was being able to get hands-on training while you were going to school. Maybe it was being able to find your passion and be able to actually focus on that. But what did you like most, enjoy most in school? And what are your goals? Well, again, my goals are different than your goals. So what are your goals? But maybe your goals are, you want to have your own business in medical billing and insurance coding. Maybe you want to be able to work for a hospital. Maybe you want to be an administrator for a health organization. What are your goals? And we believe that these are very important for you to be able to create your brand and to be able to again, market and represent you in the best light, in the best way. Just like we shared earlier in the cover letter and resume workshop. Now, as you continue and build your job search, you want to be able to brand yourself and create that first impression that is memorable in the most positive light. Now, what are we going to use with that information you just completed? Well, we want to help you create the U-brand messaging, and you're going to incorporate it into many things here. The number 2 here is create a professional voicemail message. Create a professional voicemail message. Now, what does this have to do with the job search? Well, you're going to put your phone number on your resume and cover letter. You're going to reach out and send emails and maybe leave your contact information. So if I were to ask you right now, if an employer called you today, what would she or he hear on your voicemail? And sometimes there are some pretty interesting voicemails out there. So when I call a graduate, have you ever gotten this? Ring, ring. Hello? Hi, may I speak with Jay? Hello? Yes, may I speak with Jay? Hello? Yes, I'm trying to call Jay. Hello? Oh, you reached my voicemail. Now, though fun at the first time, that might not be the best way for an employer to hear your voicemail. They may not call you back. They may not leave you that message. So, other voicemails I've heard interesting in the past is, hello, you've reached my mommy's cell phone. Please give her a call. Thank you. Though cute, again, you might want to keep it very professional. And a suggestion is, thank you for calling. Unfortunately, I am not able to take your call at this moment. Please leave a message, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Again, thank you for calling, and have a wonderful day. And you want to insert your name in there. But again, keep it very professional. Number 3, research and target your ideal company. Research and target your ideal company. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Research and target your ideal company. Where do you want to work? You're studying to go into a field, you're studying, you may be close to finishing up, you may be halfway through, you may be just beginning, but it's never too early to start thinking about where you want to work. Is it a big company? Is it a small company? Is it a hospital? Is it a medical office? Is it an insurance company? What is it? Where do you want to work? Find out. Put a list together. Put your top 50 companies. Maybe there's some huge companies, maybe there's some tiny ones, maybe there's some local to you, maybe there's some in another part of town, or maybe another state, maybe another country. I don't know. But find out about that company. Now, how do you research? Well, we're going to talk to you about some different things here in number 4, but there's many ways where you can research. Go online. Go through LinkedIn, right? Use social media. Find out, ask somebody if they know of somebody who works in that company. And once you find out somebody, dig, figure out who you need to talk to in that particular department, in that particular area you want to go to work. Research, target. Don't just leave it to chance. Don't just wait for a company to put a job opening. See, most people wait for a job opening to come up. What I'm asking you, ladies and gentlemen, is for you to go target the company, and you to go after the company that you'd like to work for, and say, this is me, this is my brand, this is what I can bring to you, this is the kind of asset and resource I can bring to you. Who do I need to speak with to talk about a position, or at least to set up an interview so I can show you what I can do? Now, there's a fine line between being overly aggressive, but that persistence goes a long way. So research and target your ideal company. And again, you may not get the position at your ideal company as your first job, but maybe you can figure out a way to get there by using and getting your foot in the door with other companies, and then being able to get into your ideal company eventually. And there are certain steps you can do. Number 4, connect and network. Connect and network. Now, here I'm showing you some of the answers here, so you have an idea of how to connect and network. It says here, informational interviews. You can read through that, but if skillfully used, an informational interview is one of the most valuable sources of occupational information. You can find out, set up a time, not necessarily an interview for you to get a job, but find out about the company. There's less stress, because why? There's not an opportunity. You're just trying to find out more if this is a good fit. You want to find out more about the position, about the environment, right? Prepare your questions in advance. Take notes. Ask for any referrals. Maybe one of your friends, family members, classmates even know somebody in that company that might be able to assist you. And just send a simple thank you, expressing your appreciation for their time. And again, for me, let's talk about those thank you notes, by the way. To me, how often have you received, or how recently have you received a handwritten note from somebody? That's rare nowadays. A lot of people get texts, you get tweets, you get emails. But when was the last time somebody actually gave you, or you gave somebody, a handwritten note? And how special was that when you received it or gave that? So send a simple thank you. Buy a stack of 10 thank you cards from your local store and be able to just leave them a thank you note, appreciating their time. It goes a long way. Networking through social media. Now, most people know that the best way to find a job is through networking. Now, networking nowadays could be into network meetings, being able to tap into your personal network, or ask friends, maybe meet face-to-face. But also you can do that through social media. In a future workshop, we're going to talk about more LinkedIn. But if you can picture Facebook, do you have a Facebook? Do you know somebody who has a Facebook? Well, Facebook, a lot of times, that's for personal use, for friends, those kinds of things, for social use. But LinkedIn, if you can imagine, if you don't know yet about LinkedIn, highly recommend you take a look at that, linkedin.com. But LinkedIn is the professional version of Facebook, where literally there are professionals that are linking together, linking with one another, becoming a part of their associations, And potentially there are job openings that are shared, there are interviews that are shared, or at least there are conversations about the field and opportunities to be introduced to other people. This allows you to see profiles of anyone else on LinkedIn and gives them ways to connect to you and you to them. And that is key, because you never know who you can come across who can introduce you to somebody else and be able to introduce you to the right person to meet in your ideal company, right? And through LinkedIn, you can do a company search. One of the best ways to use that is to have a very specific company you're interested in. That's why we talked about earlier, research and target your ideal company. Through LinkedIn, you can simply put in the specific company, and there are potentially many contacts within that company that you can ask to be linked with. Then you can ask your personal contact to connect you. Then from there, you never know where that would lead. Right? An email. When searching for a job, you can send an email to everyone in your LinkedIn network, personal network, just letting them know that you're looking for a position, that you're now, maybe you've graduated, or now you are ready to make that transition. Okay? You're also going to use this branding in your resume and cover letter. And your resume and cover letter should literally be very much the same kind of brand. You don't want to look on one resume different than your cover letter. It's got to be the same brand. They got to know it's the same person, right? So we talked a little bit about that during the resume and cover letter workshop. Job fairs, staffing agencies, right? These are other ways where you want to brand yourself. When you go to job fairs, we're going to teach you ways through your career services professionals on how to maximize the job fair experience. Don't just go there and drop off a resume. Go there, shake hands, make a connection. Maybe it's a connection with the person who's actually sitting behind the table, who's hiring. Maybe it's another person who's looking for work as well. But make sure you get to meet and shake hands and introduce yourself to the right people in the companies and the industries and the sectors that you'd like to work. Staffing agencies. Being able to get more people than just yourself and career services working for you and with you to get your career off the ground. If it were up to me, I would have as many people as possible help me look for my career and get my career started. So I'm not just going to rely on me or my career services professional. Yes, I will do my part. I will get to know and make sure that my career services professional knows who I am to the best of my ability and their ability so they can market and represent me. But I'm also going to be using a lot of staffing or recruiting firms to be able to get my name out there, because they might have different contacts. So I'm going to utilize every resource I can. All right, keeping track. Now you've done your cover letter, you've done your resume, you've done your research, you've been branding yourself through social media, through to me the being able to meet people face to face, kneecap to kneecap, shaking their hands through job fairs, introductions, personal introductions, pounding the pavement. Maybe you're knocking on doors, you're making a lot of calls. Well, how do you keep all this organized? Well, we have to keep it organized. You can use different ways. Here's a simple tracker. Here's a way where you can keep track of what resumes you're sending out, what their website, the company name is. Maybe, if you submitted it through their website, you have your own username and password. When you posted the resume on their site, maybe when you posted the resume on CareerBuilder, wherever you posted it, the date when you posted the cover letter, and any comments. Did you get a call back? Did they tell you that the position was filled? Did they tell you that they'll be, did you get an email saying that they'll be reviewing your resume and let you know within 30 days or 2 weeks? Put those kinds of comments in. We've got to keep track, because the challenge that a lot of our graduates have is that, number one, they don't network and market themselves enough. They don't send out their resumes, they don't meet people, they don't get the branding out enough. Not enough people know that they're looking for work. Not enough people know what their strengths and skills are. Not enough people know what they're looking for. The second challenge is, if you are doing that a lot, is not keeping that organized and not being able to follow up. Follow through, follow up is very important. if you picture any sport, for example, golf, tennis, there's a golf swing, there's a tennis swing. If you go halfway in your swing or halfway in your swing of a bat in baseball, or your club in golf, or your racket in tennis, that ball is not going to go very far. You need to follow through all the way, and actually there's what they call a follow through or a backswing to make sure it goes all the way through. Well, same thing with your career search or your job search, is you can't just go halfway. You got to follow up, follow through. So these tracking resources are going to help you do that. But my suggestion is keep it digitally, keep copies of it so that you know who you need to follow up with, what are their employers' names, and the different companies, and it'll make you look a lot more professional as well. All right, here's a second tracker. Here's a networking tracker. Maybe you go to networking events, and I highly suggest that. Again, there's so many different events out there. There's different meetups nowadays. You can research that, and many of them are free. Some of them, there might be a nominal cost, but that's up to you. But many are free. There's chambers of commerce meetings. There's different things. There's events either online or in person. But find those networking events, and find them while you're still in school. Don't wait till you graduate. All these things you should take advantage of while you're going to school, so you get the practice. So by the time you're ready to go to look for work, you've got the practice and you know how to do it. And also you put yourself out there. So another suggestion that I would make is that why not make business cards for yourself? You know, there's cheap business cards out there. You can go to something like a vistaprint.com and make some cheap business cards out there. Cheap, when I mean cheap, is inexpensive, pardon me, but inexpensive business cards. But they look very professional. Economically, they're good. At the same time, you can hand out those business cards to people and say, I'm a future medical insurance billing graduate. Here's my number. If you know anybody in the future that might be looking for somebody like me, let me know. But anyways, for a networking event, I would write that down. When you went there, who you met, what company, their contact information. Again, as you meet people, you want to get their contact information. See, so many people are used to doing this through Facebook and the social networking and getting all these friends. Well, you want to make a lot of contacts for your career search. You want to get their phone number, their email, and again, comments. What's the next step? What is the next time that you need to follow up with them? And this networking tracker could be very useful for you as you continue to get your foot in the door. And normally the next step after you do this great networking, and networking starts when, by the way? Networking starts now, right? You never know who introduced you to your next employer. You never know if you've already met your next employer and when or where that's going to be. So networking starts now. And those who master that will master their career and job search. The next tracker I want to show you is your interview tracker. Oh, why so many trackers? Well, again, every step of the way, there's going to be things and names and people you need to track, right? So now, once you actually get your foot in the door and get an interview, maybe it's through your cover letter or resume that you sent out, or maybe it's somebody that you networked with who introduced you to somebody, maybe a referral. Well, who did you interview with? What was the date? What were the name or names? Maybe there was more than one person. Their title, their email address, right? So you can help follow up. What's their phone number, right? Date that thank you was sent. Now let's talk about that. I know I talked about that a little bit earlier, but for me, as a friendly piece of advice, I might not want to send a thank you note via email or in the mail, because sometimes some people, employers, make the decision to hire that same day. So if you send a thank you note like even that same day and it doesn't get to them until 2 days later, you might have already missed out. My suggestion is get some thank you cards. Write simple notes as soon as you're done with the interview. What I do is this personally is I'll step out of the office wherever I have interviewed, go into my car, write out the simple thank you note, something to the effect, "Dear John, thank you so much for the opportunity to interview with your organization. It's exciting to see the growth of your company, and I would love to have the opportunity to show you the kind of asset I can be to your team. Sincerely, Aldwin. My phone number. I put it in an envelope, seal it. I put John's name on the envelope, or if I met with 2 or 3 people, I'd make a thank you note to each one, saying a little bit different thing, but to each one, and then I'd walk back into the office. I'd go to the front desk person, and I'd ask him or her, would you mind please giving this to John or Amy or Fred, whoever I interviewed with, and thank you so much for your time. You have a wonderful day. It was wonderful meeting you. And then you step out, and then that person would give that thank you note directly to the people you interviewed with, and again, you make another great impression before you have even driven off the premises. So that's my suggestion. And then again, comments. Did they have to, did they set up a second interview, or when did they ask you to follow up? One thing that I do as an employer is after an interview, I will ask somebody, if you haven't heard from me within an X number of days, maybe 3 days or end of the week, please give me a call back. Connect with me. I just want to see how badly they want the position. I just want to see how much effort that they want to put in, because if they don't follow up with me in that time frame that I asked them, maybe it wasn't important enough to them. And those that did, now I know that, okay, they follow up, they follow through. So again, these trackers are very important. Those that don't do this are going to have a hard time staying on top of the many positions that they've sent their resume to, or the many companies or people that they've networked with, or the many interviews that they've gone on, right? You're not always going to get hired from that one resume you sent, from that one interview you went on, and then you get hired from that one position. It does not always work like that. In fact, that's an exception. That's not the rule. Normally, you're going to have to send out multiple resumes and cover letters. In fact, at the very beginning, you're going to have to send out many. I want to be very real with you. How many people do you have to network it with? Many people. How many interviews do you need to go on? I don't know. That's going to depend on how well you interview, and how well you prepare for the interview, and how well you recap and improve on the next interview. But that's going to be up to you. And we want to get you the most confident and the most prepared, but that's going to be up to you. But in my experience, you're going to have to normally interview at least multiple times to get the position that you want, or to be offered a position. And that's why these trackers are very important. Another tracker, it's a career website tracker. Again, you as you continue to look, one suggestion that I have is go on the internet, of course, go through different career websites. My suggestion is don't do it during the prime time, getting in front of people time. What that is normally the business hours, from like 8 to 5, 8 to 6 are probably not the best times to sit on the internet just to look for different job openings. You want to do that maybe later on at night or very early in the morning, so that during those primetime business hours you can be in front of people, being on interviews, or pounding the pavement, or networking with people, or doing the informational interviews and finding out about the companies. But you need a career website tracker also to see what website you've gone on, again, if you have different usernames or passwords, and what's the focus of the website. Maybe it's a particular field, or maybe it's a particular area, whatever it is, and again, your comments will follow up on that. So again, another great tracker to use. Now, here's a job search checklist. You might want to take a snapshot of this, print this out for yourself, but there's a job search checklist here that we have. And you know, we'll have these as handouts as well for you. But if you check off all of these, you're going to give yourself the best chance to get your career going. If you don't check off any of these, you're putting yourself behind the proverbial 8 ball. So you're giving yourself a tougher chance, a bigger hill to climb, if you will. So what does this say here? It says, job search checklist. I've created my LinkedIn profile. If you haven't, again, in a future workshop, we're going to cover the importance of this, but do your research, take a look at LinkedIn, and look at how great that would be if you had a LinkedIn profile. I've added my branding message too, and again, if you created your brand, is it consistent? Is it the same? For example, Nike is the same pretty much everywhere, whether it's on TV, on radio, in print. Are you the same? Is your branding the same on LinkedIn, on your resume, your Facebook page, on your business card? Right? Is it consistent? Are you consistent? I reviewed my resume for accuracy. Have you looked at all the different resumes that you have, your 3 or 4 different versions? Are they accurate? Do they look great? Are they on nice paper? I've signed up with how many staffing agencies? Remember, you want to have as many people looking for work for you as possible. You only signed up with one? Well, that's one other person. Are you signed up with 4 or 5? Gives you better probabilities. I've changed my ringtone and voicemail message. We talked about that. So again, stop right now. Call your voicemail. Take a look and make sure that your ringtone and your voicemail are professional. You've discussed with your family the importance of answering the phone professionally. If you choose to put your home number, which I highly recommend you don't, but if you choose to put your home number as a contact number, please make sure that you've discussed with your family the importance of answering the phone professionally, and also make sure that voicemail system answers professionally as well. But my recommendation, if you have a cell phone, please utilize that as a contact information, contact number for you, and make sure that voicemail is professional and you answer it always professionally as well, because you never know who's on the other line. Next one, I prepared my email to inform my network that I'm looking for a job. Again, make sure your email is also a professional email address. I've seen some pretty interesting ones over my years. So please make sure your email address is very professional. You've researched where the Job Workforce Center posts information about job fairs. Maybe you visit the Career Services Center here or different workforce centers about different job fairs. You've practiced answering the phone. If you haven't done so, please do so now. What if somebody called you? How would you pick up the phone? Is it professional? A great way to pick up the phone is good morning. It depends on the morning. If it's afternoon or evening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Aldwin, your first name. Good morning, this is Aldwin. Good afternoon, this is Aldwin. Good evening, this is Aldwin. You've Googled your keywords and targeted the following jobs and companies. So again, do your research. Go to Google. It's one great search engine. Go to the company's websites. Which ones are you targeting? Maybe 4 is too small. Put more on the list. You've Googled your keywords and targeted the following job titles. Now, not just the companies, but the job titles at the different companies. You've created a job search agent for these titles. What does that mean? In the different search engines, you can put on there job search agents, for example, in CareerBuilder or Indeed.com, and every time something matches what your job search agent is, you will get an email saying that a position matching what you're looking for has been found, and they'll email you information. And again, by using this job search checklist and the trackers we just went over, you will position yourself more prepared than most in terms of the job search. And if you do so, you'll find your opportunities increase. They'll also get better, and you'll be able to progress in this journey of your career in the best way. And we look forward to working with you. Please bring these trackers and give updates to your career services professional so we can help you along the way. Let us know when you do get hired so we can celebrate with you. Let us know when interviews don't go so well or when they do go well so we can coach you through. We can prep you for the next one and also encourage you, because many times we need that as well. You're not in this alone. Again, you are not in this alone. You have a wonderful support system here at our college, and we want to help you. We want to assist you all along the way. But whose career search is this? Whose job search is this? This is yours. But with you, your 100% effort, with our 100% effort, and with these tools and these resources, you just do the right things, you'll position yourself to be able to get the career going that you want. And again, until our next workshop, we're excited for your journey. We're excited for your success. And thank you for joining us again. We look forward to seeing you at our next Career Services workshop in our Passport to Career Services and Passport to Career Success series. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.